We are just a week away from the Missouri primary campaign here in 2024, and we continue examining campaign ads, fact-checking candidate claims.
And new here at 6, Corey Stark digs into claims that Congress hopeful Wesley Bell is taking money from Republicans.
Wesley Bell worked for a gun-loving Republican.
This is true. This ad, paid for by Justice Democrats PAC supporting Cori Bush's re-election bid, cites an article by the Huffington Post. According to the article, in 2006, Wesley Bell was the campaign manager for Republican Mark J. Byrne, who failed to win the same congressional seat Bell and Bush are now duking it out for. A search of Byrne's campaign website through the Library of Congress shows Byrne was a strong supporter of the Second Amendment, and his website read, "Gun control laws have simply failed. Criminals have always and will certainly continue to possess illegal firearms. Public policy arguments in favor of gun control have been proven wrong."
Wesley donated to the Republican speaker who bragged about banning abortion here.
That's true. Our research through the Missouri Ethics Commission shows Bell donated to Missouri House Speaker Dean Plocker's 2010 bid for state Senate 3 different times for a total of $500. Plocker is an anti-abortion Republican now running for Missouri Secretary of State. On his campaign website, Plocker says he helped lead the fight to pass the heartbeat bill, which eventually led to abortion being banned in our state.
Now Bell is bankrolled by a Republican billionaire PAC that supports January 6ers.
The ad is referring to the American Israel Political Affairs Committee, which, according to the latest FEC data, has pumped nearly $1.9 million into Wesley Bell's campaign. In this election cycle, several billionaires who have had a history of donating to Republicans have donated millions to AIPAC-affiliated groups. FEC records show the PAC, made up of Republican and Democrat donors, is spending big on several races, with their main interest electing candidates who will be strong supporters of the U.S.-Israel relationship in Congress. In bold red letters, the ad states, "Millions for Bell from PAC that endorses 109 January 6 insurrectionists," citing an article from The Nation, a progressive left magazine. The article provides a list of 109 Republican lawmakers who have been endorsed by AIPAC and labels them insurrectionists for voting against certifying the 2020 presidential election results. We find this claim misleading, as none of those lawmakers have faced charges related to January 6, and there's no information supporting those lawmakers encouraged people to storm the Capitol building.
Bell takes money from Trump, Hawley donors, the worst Republicans.
The Justice Democrat PAC tells First Alert 4 Bell has taken over $37,000 from donors to Hawley or Trump and provided a spreadsheet of such donations. We verified many of the names on the FEC website, and it is true Bell's campaign has received money from donors who have supported Trump and Hawley.
That was Corey Stark reporting. You can head over to firstalert4.com/campaign2024 to see our latest ad fact checks and sit-down interviews with the candidates in the upcoming primary. Steve?